Welcome to Minot Talk here at the Dakota. And this is Thursday. It's 9:02 a.m., 2 minutes past the hour. How are you, Kyler?
I am fantastic, Mr. Starr. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing so well. I decided to go live on Minot Talk.
Oh, I love it. We're here. We're live. It's Thursday morning. Once again, we're back ready for some bunch of fun hot topics we're going to break down here.
Yeah, there's some hot topics in Minot.
There is. Well, I mean, compared to the weather. Yeah. That was good. That's not what I was going for. That was gold. So where do you want to start?
Tyler, my oh my.
You threw me off on that one. I wasn't ready.
So, most disappointing team in the NBA?
In the whole of the NBA? Probably the Clippers.
No, in the minor.
But I also think the Pelicans deserve a shout out there.
It's the Clippers.
It's probably the Clippers.
Why the Clippers?
So they're old.
Oh, no, that's not why the Clippers are the most disappointing. If you're going to say the most disappointing team is the Clippers, it's in part because of a guy by the name of we'll call him CP3.
You're right.
Did they handle that right?
I don't think so.
What's your favorite Chris Paul moment? Or least favorite, most...
Oh, my most memorable Chris Paul moment.
There we go. Let's go with that.
Is when he didn't get traded to the LA Lakers, even though that was an agreed upon thing, and the commissioner of the NBA had to step in and say,
wasn't that pretty much unprecedented?
Yeah. And to this day, it's still largely...
Yeah, and that's the reason why that's so memorable to you is because you're a Lakers fan. So
yes.
You guys, who all did you have at the time?
Well, they would have had Kobe, Powell, and Chris Paul.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think my favorite one is when you see the clips of him going and like telling the refs that, oh, he doesn't have his jersey
guy not wearing
tucked in or whatever, and so then they get the technical or whatever it turns into.
That happens. Timberwolves have been a little not as living up to expectations as they could be.
Basically what Minnesota does. It's a Minnesota sports team misery right there.
You're not wrong. Just always fall apart.
Always find a way to lose.
Always find a way to disappoint. That's Minnesota sports teams right there.
Yes.
Except the Minnesota Lynx. They've won a bunch. But
13-8.
They're not doing terrible, but
Yeah. But yeah.
A few of those losses aren't great.
Anthony Edwards is still Anthony Edwards.
He is still the Ant-Man. You got to love him.
You got to love him.
He's a legend.
Probably the only good Georgia basketball player in the history of the sport. But
there's got to be one or two others.
I'm kidding. There are people are going to tell me about a bunch, but that's not typically the place where you hear about these greats.
It's not the powerhouse for college basketball.
Isn't that weird?
We'll say that. It's a little odd.
It's just weird how
him being the first overall pick that year too kind of came out of the blue.
Yep.
A lot of people didn't expect that one, but hey,
Minnesota might have actually gotten that right.
Worked out a lot better in that regard than the cat pick did, I think.
Interesting.
That's my take on that.
All right. Well, that's our sports roundup. Maybe we'll hit it again at the end.
That's the intro. Yes.
One last one. We're having the Thanksgiving Day football game a week later.
What? Oh, yeah.
Lions versus Cowboys on Thursday Night Football.
That's perfect.
I thought that was hilarious.
Tonight. Yep. Given the two Thanksgiving teams a back-to-back Thursday night week, it's got to throw everything a little off.
Yeah, but that makes sense. But those guys perennially were the Thursday Thanksgiving game. They play on Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Even when the Lions were.
Lions are always home. Cowboys are always home. It's perfect. So.
All right. We got some stuff to talk about. Where do you want to start, Kyler?
Let's start back here in Minot.
I
want to talk about the little update on the Daniel Brejo case.
Yeah.
Another little update came out in the court dockets the other day. Looks like, shout out Charles Crane, Minot Daily News, following this fantastically.
He's pretty much a legend in these parts.
So this one comes out and it says, Brejo's team is agreeing with the state that any contradictory statements that were offered by Jenny in the Beck interview that she did are effectively should be thrown out. Yep.
Yeah, Beck did this. Yeah, I see that. We'll forgive you this week.
I appreciate it.
JB went on Beck. Beck did this whole Duncy Declassified series where really all they talked about was the Brejo murder.
Started getting into
such a
but
weird name, honestly, for it. I don't know where they're going to go, but they stopped.
They did. They kind of halted that whole thing.
It was supposed to go for many, many episodes. They didn't give a firm timeline, but they just stopped.
Yeah, about 15 minutes a hit, and it went for like 8-10 weeks. And then a couple weeks ago, they picked one back up when the Brejo thing all kind of came to the surface again. They did another episode with Jenny, but the vast majority of those episodes that they did do effectively centered around, the Brejo case. And the ones that they followed up on, that they ended on, they were starting to kind of dive into the Dunseith situation a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where, that's where it got cut off effectively. And Jonathan, I think, is pulling it up to confirm how many they did here.
No, I was
maybe not.
pulling up a different number. But yeah,
I tried.
With tears running down.
I know. I'm struggling right now. Brejo and his team are going to a motion to try to get all of her statements quashed. But then, of course, in theory, she could just be subpoenaed again and forced to retestify. But they're saying that a lot of her statements made either publicly or via deposition prior have been contradictory. And I don't know if we can necessarily confirm that at this point, but just an interesting thing there.
Here's the deal. Only 8% of podcasts make it past 10 episodes, according to Google.
Well, that's interesting.
Right. And so we had to figure out if the Dunseith classified
made it past that. Hey, we made it past that, folks. We've been at this for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And if you have been following along, if you're watching now, we appreciate every one of you. This has been a fun journey.
But no, and we're kind of goofing off right now, but it is a really interesting update, and will be interesting how that plays out, because when it was going down, we were asking questions internally and maybe a couple externally of, all right, how is this going to actually affect the case? And sure enough, it's affecting the case in a relatively big way.
Yep.
Now, right now, it's just a little bit of
jabs going out there right now. Yeah. Elbows getting thrown, but in the long run, this could be something that could have the main witness of this case, one of the people that almost were killed in this situation, allegedly, could be thrown out, and that's the only surviving witness. So at that point, whose word are you taking?
Right.
It'd be Brejo, a man who is allegedly killed a man and attempted to kill another woman, or the word of a dead man at that point. And I don't know how you can necessarily take either of those into a ton of context, but you throwing out your main witness's case, that's not an easy thing to do.
Right.
It shouldn't be an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Or something that they take lightly in doing so.
They're up to 14 episodes.
Okay, so they made it past the average then.
They made it past the average of 10. They're in the 8%.
They did like 13 episodes and
they did 12 episodes.
Okay.
By the end of May, and then they did another one in August and another one in September.
Oh, I don't know about that September one. I don't think. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, but we might have, because who knows? Nonetheless,
yeah.
And the part of the interesting deal was around episode 8. They made an error and they had to go and make a corrective statement.
Yes, they had to.
And that's on the website.
Back. Yeah, we had to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Nonetheless,
that was an interesting part. Yes. Back to and now we're again waiting to see where the case goes from here. It looks like on Wednesday, December 17th, there is a virtual hearing that will happen regarding the motion to quash, and then assuming that doesn't get taken, on March 16th is when the trial is currently set to start.
The editor stream mentions it renders the case a circumstantial one.
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be incredible if somehow Brejo gets out?
That would be a trip. If it was on like a nuance of legal.
I don't think a
points.
jury. Well,
but that's the thing. What if it doesn't get to a jury?
Yeah. What if it doesn't get to a jury? And also, it's gonna be so hard to get a jury that's untainted.
Yeah, around here especially, like in Minot, this has been something that's
partially in North Dakota.
Yeah, I mean, well, they found one for the Anita Knutson one in Grand Forks, so. In theory, they can do one for this somewhere else.
But that's fair. Anita Knutson was more popular statewide or nationally, but it involves law enforcement, and sometimes that tickles people's entertainment.
Yeah,
part of the brain a little bit more.
It adds a different layer of complexity to it for sure, especially in this situation, which is a really wild thing where you have a law enforcement officer
just crazy
allegedly killing another law enforcement officer. That's one of his better friends.
Right.
And obviously the main narrative that came out of everything after it immediately ended was a love triangle situation. And now you fast forward to more recently.
JB says no.
And exactly. She is adamant that that is not the case. There's no sort of that thing going on at all. And I don't believe we've yet to see an official statement from Brejo on his story of the case. So
Brejo,
at this
his
point,
official story. Yeah.
Until he gets called to the stand, if he does in a jury trial, I don't know if we'll be able to see it until maybe if it gets thrown out, we might be able to request.
You think he'd go on stand?
It'd be a hard one for him to do, but I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be productive.
I don't think it'd be prudent, no, but you never say never in a case like that.
Who knows? That is the update on the Brejo case.
Expect more from that in a couple weeks, and then if it still all goes to trial sometime in March, unless it gets pushed back after it gets locations changed or something.
Minot is going through this deal where we're getting a second roundabout, and this is a big deal.
Yes, people are interested in this one. It's become a thing.
People are interested in this one substantially. Some are saying it's not the best location for it.
I've heard that popped up, and I didn't probably do the best job of describing it the other day, but it's at the intersection of 6th Street and 2nd Avenue Southwest, right? Yeah, yep. And that is, again, it's to the west of the library a little
That's
ways.
what it seems like.
But a lot of people say it's maybe not in the best location for, a roundabout, but I honestly think there's a couple sides to this. One,
all right, let's hear the sides.
I think the location could be maybe just because it won't have as much traffic on it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad spot for it. On the second end, just because it doesn't have a 4-way exit from it, I think it would only probably be a 3-way roundabout.
Why is it a 3-way roundabout?
I believe they said the way to Burdick will be quashed because of the rerouting of the river.
Gotcha.
But I could be mistaken on the exact part of that, so I would have to
the
go
way
listen
to Burdick.
So it would be what, 6th Street?
So the river is going to be above this,
or where the rerouting comes, I believe. But this is one of those ones where
we're not sure. We're not sure about that at all.
Regardless, I don't think that putting a roundabout in this spot is the worst idea for it.
There are a lot of armchair traffic engineers out there on this one for sure.
Yeah, I've seen that all over. It has been wild. And so here's one, my personal view.
Yeah, that's you have it backwards. It won't be the current spot though. With the flood protection and diversion channel, the road will be moved to the north.
Okay, that makes more sense then. I see now. Now I get it. Thank you for that clarification. Very much appreciated there. But
yeah, one person said they'd rather see 200 roundabouts, just not one in this spot.
That would be a tough one to do. You'd end up having a roundabout every intersection on Broadway. That'd be a tough rework. Yeah, this would be a hard one to. So okay, back when we had that first one come to be, I remember that because I'd been on like 1 or 2 roundabouts in my life prior to that, like the one by Carrington a couple times, and maybe the one out west by like Sydney and Williston in that area.
Did you ever go around the roundabout more than once?
I have not. No, I have not had the gall.
You have not lived life yet.
That. No, to do the Griswold vacation. There goes Big Ben.
How about this? Have you ever, and you haven't because you just said you haven't, but been in a roundabout that you felt like you couldn't get out of?
Oh gosh, no. That is a nightmare though. If you get stuck in one of those double roundabouts and you get somehow on the inside lane and it's just so busy you can't get back out. That is a complete nightmare.
We'll do these. Well, because we go on these trips, these quiz with my youth. Or not youth, but they're Bible quizzes at my church. And we go on these trips. And so every once in a while, I'll head a roundabout. And every once in a while, you'll be like, all right, this is interesting because we're in a 15-passenger van. And there's typically more than one person. So you're wanting all to kind of stay together so we don't lose track. And they can get a little bit.
She's a little top heavy in there.
Hey, Jeff says he got his TikTok made. So we can look forward to that.
Ooh, boy. I'm excited. Might have to look at that come next Tuesday.
Yeah. No, you can have some fun.
Yeah. Roundabouts are.
I don't think I've ever. I think I've gone around it more than once, but I don't think I've gone out of control I know I haven't gone out.
Where you just
out of
keep
control,
going
yeah.
around. Yeah, that would be a nightmare. But also, generally, those are larger ones that have probably more than 3 or 4 exits off of it. But also, I don't, to go back to our first point, I don't think this is the worst spot for one. I think if we're going to start integrating them more into Minot, this is a way to do it.
I think the one by Gate City, we should, I mean, I don't know what the numbers say. Okay. So, but Gate City on the south west side of town, I think we should look at one there though. I think that'd be a good spot for a roundabout.
You made a good point with that.
But there might not be enough room because each corner has a business on it to the curb and stuff. So
that's true. They'd probably have to rework some stuff.
Yeah,
there.
but that one, I still hope that
you have
at
a
least
faint bit of hope that one could happen someday.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to see it.
Well, I go back to even the deal where it's slow traffic down because people get rocking on that road.
Yep. And so often, if you're trying to go north-south off of that, just try to crossing, especially if you're trying to turn left onto it, good luck. But
we talked about
if you're
this
just going
on
north-south,
Tuesday.
That is a tough one there.
The current 2nd Avenue will become the new diversion channel at Maple Avenue. So that's how that works.
Okay, that makes more sense, Miranda. That clears it up then. So yeah. Everything pretty much gets shoved north a little bit, and the roundabout becomes a 3-way then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
more roundabouts.
But could you imagine 200
roundabouts in Minot? That would be a hard thing to imagine. Could you imagine every 4-way stop in Minot being a roundabout?
Honestly,
like that 4-way intersection by Longfellow School, for example.
I honestly don't hate roundabouts.
I don't hate them, but I feel like there's
200.
There's a limit
like,
too.
but because there's some places there's no traffic to it, so you don't need a roundabout, right?
Yeah.
So it's just limited traffic.
Yeah.
But any busy intersection, I remember. I don't know if I've ever told this story, but when I was taking my driver's test, talk about a busy intersection. I was taking my driver's test way back in the day. And I came to 4th Avenue and 16th Street. But the problem is, 4th Avenue and 16th Street. But the problem is that I was taking it right after the flood. And at that time, every lane was every road was 4 lanes.
Yep. It was very tight there, but yeah.
So it was 4 lanes, and it's a stop sign. It's a full intersection where you have to go stop, and then and the driver instructor's like, just get through the intersection. We're not grading you on how you get through this one. I'm like,
not worried.
Thanks. Turn that into a roundabout.
Yeah, that could.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that'd be good or not.
It'd
be a huge one. Well, now that there's only 2 lanes going one, and then it might work.
You could finesse it.
Could finesse it. But who knows? We're not creating roundabouts, but Miranda says that the county they're in the design phase of their first county roundabout.
I like it. I love it. They're coming to North Dakota. Look at this.
Well, they've been in North Dakota. They're coming to my part of North Dakota.
Exactly. They're becoming more popular across the state now.
There's that huge one on your way to Newtown, right?
Yeah, of course. I always forget about that one. Yeah, when you're going out to Newtown, you have to go up to Stanley there. That is a big one.
Yeah. Big enough for trucks to get through.
Does the state of North Dakota have a dual lane roundabout? How about that? I don't think it does.
Yeah, if there was one that I was gonna say, it'd be that one.
That one's not. I know that. So, and I don't think Fargo has enough to probably have one.
Yeah. So,
look at that.
We'll look forward to that day when
traffic. Your friendly local traffic engineer wannabes right here.
No, that's not me. That may be Kyler, but that is not me.
I wouldn't be good at that.
There's other things I'd rather do. I think it's still a traffic engineer, but if I was going to be in that area, I'd be the stoplight guy.
Stoplight guy.
That would be fun.
Oh, man. Just imagine if you get peak flow on the traffic lights and they're all lined up and you're watching it like you're monitoring.
This is why I'd
be
terrible.
Is there a central monitor station for it?
They do. They have something like that.
I know.
But
yeah.
I would be terrible at it because I'd be tracking license plates. Like, this guy, I'm like, that light's going to stay red.
You're just watching him go down.
Look how mad he is. That's why I'll never work there.
You just see someone obviously speeding and you just adjust some of the lights a little bit.
Yeah, we'll slow them down.
That's terrible.
Okay. Do not trust me with that job.
Yeah, I don't know if
city manager.
That power should be in your hands there.
All right. What else is from the Minot mailbag today?
Xcel Energy has been a big thing.
Yeah, this is North Dakota thing.
Yeah, it's I guess not as
it was terrible.
They were going to up rates by almost 20%.
But now it's all right.
Well, after their meeting and their big scare that everyone saw 20% rate raises coming, guess what?
It's only like 12% or something.
Yeah, it's like 11% that
11.
they're going to up now.
So they drop it dramatically, almost in half.
Yeah. But
Was this all part of it?
I think so.
This was all part of a tactic the whole time?
The cynic in me says yes, this was. They threw out a high number to scare everyone and make a big fuss about it. And then when they counter with a much lower offer that is still, 11% higher than what it is now, people are much more accepting of that.
Yeah.
That's my thought on it.
So,
personally.
and the concern is that this is all being driven by data centers.
Yeah. Which haven't even really arrived yet.
They haven't arrived yet. And they're saying that the consumers get the brunt of this. It is not even the businesses that are getting the brunt.
Yeah.
So, what's your view on this? Is this just an unintended consequence of data centers in North Dakota?
Yes. But also,
but it's not they can't be true.
Yeah.
It had to be known that this was going to happen.
Well, I think here's the differentiation I was going to make. Unintended, yes. Unforeseen, no. People, this has been something that they had to have foreseen for a little while coming into the situation at this stage. My personal solution, what would I like to see happen with it? I'd love to see nuclear energy come to North Dakota and start powering the data centers.
Tell us how this works.
Well,
they're doing research on this right now.
They are. The state, big shout out to the state. We talked a little bit about this earlier in the year. They're starting to do some more widespread nuclear energy research into the state to see how that would actually work out. So in theory, you would take one of the major rivers in the state, and there's a few of them, but specifically 3 big ones that I can really think of in the Missouri, the Red, and then the Souris here. You could also probably count like the James River as well as one, I would say. For a fact, those ones. You would have to take a section of the river, pick it out. You'd have to divert a little bit of it for a cooling center. And then you're able to build your reactors there, and you're able to power. I mean, in theory, you could power numerous databases through a nuclear facility.
Data centers. That'd be incredible.
Then you're in, depending on how you wanted to fund it. Obviously, I doubt the data places would fund the building of something like that themselves. You'd have to figure out a way to probably have the state incentivize it for some kind of way, unfortunately, to start it. That's just one of those things that you see so often. But
of course.
Yeah.
Theater and Stream exclaims thorium.
Oh my.
Oh my, Kyler says.
But no, to get those nuclear, I love how we turned the XL thing into a nuclear energy discussion. This is a classic Kyler moment right here. But I would love to see this come into play, because and again, here's a thought, and I'm listening. This is a hot take. I might have thrown this out there this spring.
We're supposed to have hot takes today.
Was that Tuesdays or Thursdays? But
I don't know, but
regardless, here's my hot take.
The title.
The North Dakota. So we have a Bank of North Dakota, and we have a state mill. Let's have a state nuclear reactor.
He's just like, let's get as many state things as we can.
Why not at this point? We already started. Let's keep it rolling. We'll pay for it with the legacy fund and bring in like XL or MDU to run it, kind of deal. And half of the energy that's produced from it will go to pay for these data centers that'll get some kind of kickback into the state from it, and then the rest will be used as hopefully some level of discounted electrical energy to keep the lights on a little cheaper. I love it. See, look at this.
That's such a good idea. We'll go to break.
I love it.
After break, we have some more wonderful things to talk about. We hope you stay around. It's gonna be a good time today.
In the demanding world of oil and gas, precision, safety, and efficiency are non-negotiable. Unmanned operator drone services revolutionizes how you monitor, inspect, and manage your operations. With cutting-edge technology and expert operators, we deliver real-time data, detailed reports, and actionable insights for our valuable clients. Why risk the safety of your team or waste precious time? Our drones access even the most challenging areas with ease, reducing downtime and enhancing safety across your sites. We take the guesswork out of your projects by offering LiDAR, mapping, and inspection services so that your projects stay safe, on budget, and on time. Unmanned operator drone services, where technology meets safety, precision, and efficiency. Contact us today to elevate your operations. Yes, pun intended.
Enjoy Minot's finest authentic Mexican cuisine with a view at Mi Mexico. The rooftop patio is open and ready for you to enjoy a margarita or other cool refreshment along with genuine mouth-watering Mexican entrees. Mi Mexico, South Broadway.
We're back.
It's Thursday. Gosh.
It's Thursday.
My days
Get
are
it right,
messed up.
bro.
I've been sick this week. My days are
You've
all
been
messed
sick.
up.
All right, so First District Health Unit, they're doing a survey. You should go there and take it. Just First District Health Unit dot whatever it is, and then it's right at the beginning of their site. I'm finding it out too, Kyler. Nonetheless, or it's fdhu.org.
Pretty easy. fdhu.org. That's a simple one. You can just go right there, take this little survey, and what happens when you take the survey?
Well, you answer a bunch of questions. And then at the end of it, question number 28, you get hit with this one. And the question is, do you support a syringe service program in your community to reduce public exposure to communicable diseases and assist people with addictions to explore treatment options? Yes, no, or I need more information on this. Interesting question.
Yeah, let's break the question down.
Let's break it down.
So what's it actually asking?
Right,
When
we
it
don't
mentions
know.
that syringe service
Let's be
program.
clear.
Yeah.
We're only assuming. We have not reached out to
Yes.
First District.
Yeah, this is assumption based on I have a indirect knowledge of some recovery stuff.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure it would be a program similar to something that's been rolled out in a place like Fargo or some other larger metropolitan areas where there is unfortunately a large population of people that use needles for one stimulant or another. And because they know that they're going to be out there using those items rather than letting them just reuse or trade between each other, they offer a service where these people are able to go and get clean, free new ones. And so in theory, since you know this is something that's going on, you're hopefully giving these people the tools to not get sick and to be safe while doing so.
Right. That's kind of the goal.
That's the goal, and that's the program that they would want, that they're asking if Minoters would be comfortable
Why
with.
did you say Minotians? That's on you, bud.
I was.
But
That's why
the
I corrected
question is it actually going to be effective in that way? Because Fargo rolls this out, and some say that the Fargo City Council wasn't aware it was being rolled out. It just got rolled out, or City Commission, as they are set up.
Yeah.
So in Fargo, and I think it got rolled back because people weren't happy with the idea that there they did vending. In their program in Fargo, they had vending type machines where you could go and access this stuff for it. I don't know.
And there's a couple different ways, distribution methods that you can have for these things. Like there's methadone clinics in town.
Right.
You could have a similar thing to that where it's go ahead.
I want to say this. Don't get me wrong, because you're going into other aspects of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where your viewpoint on this discussion is going to go, but for sure on mine, there is a problem in this area that definitely needs to be addressed and fixed. I don't know if you can fix it, but it needs to be addressed and continued to helping with the recovery that's happening. And North Dakota has had a good might be the improper word there, but has had a solid focus on helping with recovery. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
If there's one of the biggest things that I think Governor Burgum had from his tenure was Recovery Reinvented,
Huge.
which is helping to not just help people in recovery, but help desensitize and take away the stigma of being in recovery itself.
And an interesting part about it, because a lot of what we talk about is money here, is that it was state money that was being used, but it was also trying to get private organizations, nonprofits, the ones that are involved. So it wasn't necessarily state-ran programs. It was just state-ran funding, and then trying to get these nonprofits set up where they could basically, in some ways, become independent of the government, but fix the need that was needed in North Dakota.
Yep, where they're able to hopefully, for lack of a better term, wean themselves off of the government funding and start picking up more local and other sorts of funding sources. However, well, I don't want to say however, in turn, a lot of these sources and sites are helpful for people in recovery. They are able to go to a monitored place where they're able to receive methadone and help wean themselves off of the drug. Now, specifically, not sure how this would play out in Minot with the First District Health, not even a proposal, but question that they proposed. Would it just be like a vending style machine, like in pure speculation, just throwing stuff out here in like City Hall or something, where, you can go in there, you can get what you need and you can go.
I don't know. I don't love something like this.
And see, that's the thing. I'm not sure if
we got some comments.
Do we? Let's go to those first. Yeah.
If we can't make sure diabetics have what they need, I don't think this is something that we need to do too. I think the broader point that's being brought up there by Deanne is that there's a lot of focus on this one. There's a lot of different health areas that are affected, and how are we helping across the board in these areas?
Diabetics are a great one to point to. Insulin prices are incredibly high, and I see the point being.
Gator and Stream. I love this one. Thanks for commenting, man. Recovering Reinvented was another Bergam era boondoggle. Heard from addiction activists that the program is mostly just for show.
Well, yeah.
RE something for his wife to do.
Yes, completely so. It was made 100%.
She ran that.
Yep.
Which, great. Every first lady has an initiative.
Yep.
Yeah. So I haven't heard from a ton of industry activists or addiction activists, a ton of people in the industry. I know some people who've got their organizations up and running that was centered around some of the Recovery Reinvented stuff, and then had to pivot because funding went away. And I don't know if that was intentionally done or not, but I would say that if it was done properly, that's not a terrible way to go about it, where the government puts money into something to get areas set up and says, hey, we're going to start bringing back. So we need to. So it may have been a mess up by Bergam in some ways, but I personally think it wouldn't put a lot of attention on it.
Yep. And so I have 2 points off of that. One, so the raw aspect of it, I think so much of that with this thing, it has to kind of be that to a degree. It has to be getting it out there front and center, so the people that are in recovery can feel more comfortable being out there themselves. Yeah. However, on the flip side of that, I've only spoken to people that are associated in the recovery industry that are associated with Recovery and Reinvented about it. I haven't spoken to anyone in the industry that aren't associated with it. So all of my opinions that I've gotten from it,
not from the side that was actually most affected.
Yep, that would be against it. So to be fair on that one, keep that in mind. However, I do think at least the basis of it is good. I think the guy running it now, Jonathan Holt, does a very good job. I just want to, I would like to see an emphasis kept on it, but also you have to see progress being made.
Right.
If you don't see progress being made within, probably, I guess since it's a government thing, within a decade of it being started, if you don't see legitimate, it is 5 years maybe, but regardless, if you don't see actual progress being made, then you have to start reevaluating things.
For better or for worse, it's tied together, and not saying that this needs to be cut or anything like that, but because we're kind of off of our original topic, we'll get back to it. But this is why you have a $20 billion biennium budget,
is for things like this,
is because you begin to include services like this. And so there has to be some kind of control that's put on it. Otherwise you just have this budget that goes up, because what initiative is one that we shouldn't do?
Of course. Yeah. No, that's a great point. Everything,
especially when it's health and human services,
everything that we've now established, there has on record such a well-established argument for it. That it's generally speaking.
You might disagree with commerce.
Yeah. You'll be able to nitpick and find your way through those. But generally speaking, you're going to see a lot of these be things that people have wanted and wanted for a reason.
There's wins. Yeah. But at the end of the day, are we actually getting the impact that we need in order to put that much money into it?
Yeah.
But going back to it, do you support it?
To the actual
do you support a syringe service program in your community to reduce public exposure to communicable diseases and assist people with addictions to explore treatment options?
Generally, not really.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I believe there could be some specifics that I'm talked into with the situation, but
I support treatment options, exploring treatment options.
If you can, I especially if it's an unsupervised thing, I don't love that.
Yeah.
Again, this is probably
and
an
there's
extreme notion.
I haven't done the research,
yeah.
but I've heard that there's research you can do on it that show that it actually doesn't work, and what it does is it just creates the problem worse.
Which I could see that,
because you're just creating access to it.
And
but
that's one of those things. It's probably a catch-22 in and of itself.
It probably is. I'm not an expert on this either.
Surface level, though, at least. Don't love the concept. Want the options to be open, but maybe just don't love the specifics of what this could turn into.
For sure, interesting things, but sure, what you should do is go to fdhu.org, and right at the top, there'll be a banner that you can go and take a survey. It'll take less than 10 minutes. At the end, you can apply to win one of 4 $25 Amazon gift cards. Good luck.
On top of that, there is another survey, since we're on the notion of it, by the city of Minot that is out there right now on childcare. You can definitely go on to minotnd.gov, and in one of their banners down below, you'll be able to see another new survey that they are putting out there.
Yeah, for sure.
On top of that, there was another more local thing I wanted to mention.
We were told to stop guessing at recovery method stats, please. I'm sorry if we mentioned stats. I don't think we were trying to get into actual
statistics of it. My bad on that. Just more generalities on it if we mention anything specific. But generally speaking on that one was the intention of it.
Right.
But on top of that, do you have any final thoughts on that guy? Otherwise, I think I have a statewide thing here that I wanted to bring up. And that
to the statewide one.
That is the North Dakota University system has gotten some notoriety this year. It has a new president. The former Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford got elevated to that position earlier this year. And now 3 of the state's major universities are in need of new presidents. North Dakota State University's president will be leaving in February to go back to his alma mater, Iowa State. Bismarck State College is in search of a new president after, I believe, Brent Sanford was the interim one there for a little while before he moved to the ND University system. And then Valley City State University is also looking for a new leadership there. So you're seeing 3 pretty large universities and state colleges here in the state of North Dakota that are in need of new presidents, new leadership. And that's an interesting little thing to look at there.
You looking to apply?
I don't think I would quite qualify, unfortunately. But I find it interesting that the man effectively in charge of leading all of these searches is the former Lieutenant Governor.
Brent Sanford.
That stepped down from the position to get into the private sector. And now, fast forward a few years, all of a sudden he is back in the public, well, not nearly as prevalent of the public eye as he used to be, but he's back in the public eye working for the university system, trying to fix a problem here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a difficult one to fix, probably.
I think it's going to take some time. I know they already have feelers out for,
but it seems like it's a little bit recurring. Like so, when you talk about the problem of it, we got to. Minot's been blessed with a long-term one. Obviously, it came from a North Dakotan, and so that helps.
But there's a flip side. Say Dr. Shirley were to go take one of those positions, or someone from Williston goes and takes one of those.
Then you still have the problem.
It's just you're robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of thing at that point. And
yes, you are.
You're just leaving a vacancy open somewhere else where there wasn't one, and so now you're just changing where the money goes in the same jar kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
But I thought that was an interesting little tidbit mainly because of Brent Sanford. He is an incredibly interesting figure to me. Just how he was the lieutenant.
In a lot of things.
He was lieutenant governor under Burgum for quite a while, and he left fairly nondescriptly before Tammy Miller comes in, and then it immediately becomes Burgum's, effectively ordained successor, who then loses the governor bid to Kelly Armstrong.
Yeah, Tammy Miller did. Yeah, definitely interesting for sure.
That was. I have one other one here for you, and that is on something that people have been talking around the state for quite a while, and that is on CO2 storage, and how a big ruling just came out this week, ruling in favor of the landowners. So you look back this week, a Bottineau County judge struck down North Dakota's CO2, what they call pore space law, saying you can't force landowners to into underground carbon storage if 60% of their neighbors sign on without giving them a real path to jury-decided compensation. So a lot of the specifics of this, they've had like 90% plus of people sign on to this in some of the areas, but this is more of a principally larger story coming together here, where if you can't just necessarily force eminent domain onto some of these things without having a due compensation be brought back to these people, because what the pore space is effectively gaps in underground under people's property where they can store, whether it be fracking salt water or whether it be CO2 gas that they pump down there. They're able to store it there, and for some of these facilities that they've been building in some other areas they need to find storage, they've been trying to use eminent domain to build some of these pipelines that they want, and to, in some cases, since it's a public utility, not give the people the due compensation for it. So this is an interesting thing to see come around. However, the state's almost certain to appeal, so the North Dakota Supreme Court will likely get the final word on this one.
Gotcha.
That's a fun little update on that one. But there is one other local thing that I think I wanted to talk about that I think you might have for, otherwise I can pull it up here. There was recently this week or end of last week an audit done here in the city of, I guess audit might not be the best way to put it, but the police department went around doing compliance checks for alcohol and a bunch of,
these are always a good time.
Businesses in town maybe didn't do as great on the audit compliance as they could have, but what the police did this time, and I know the different times they've sent different people in, however it might work in the past. This time, they took underage people between, I think, 18 and 20 and sent them into these facilities with their normal ID, with their actual real ID, to go and purchase alcohol. And either people weren't looking close enough at the dates or they didn't care, whatever it might be. A lot of these places had or failed the check and unfortunately sold the alcohol to the minors. And this was something I saw kind of pop up a little bit over the last couple of days here. And 12 of them did specifically.
12 businesses out of compliance. 1 was a second offense and 11 was a first offense, according to the Minot Police Department Facebook page.
Which, got a sneaky feeling, probably right on that.
66 of them did pass.
So the vast majority doing what they need to be doing every time. But there's always, and stuff can happen. Stuff's always, one way or the other there. But really interesting to see that a couple of those maybe didn't quite hold up to the standards. But I think the more interesting thing was the amount of notoriety this one got over the last couple of days.
Why?
Why do I think that's interesting, or why do I think it got the notoriety?
Yeah. Why do you think it got so much notoriety?
That's the part I'm not positive of, because these happen a couple times a year generally, and you always see the headline, but I don't feel like you see as much discussion go on as with this one has.
Yeah.
And so seeing so much of it pop up, I thought it was at least worth mentioning today.
Yeah, for sure. Very interesting. Well, if you want to find
those IDs in check,
the names, you can go to the Minot Police Department's page. And,
they have it all listed on there. You can check it out. I think you can go to probably KFYR too and find them there.
Listed there or not. I know that they might
they'll at least
report it on.
Yeah, link to it.
Yeah, for sure. Very good. Well, 9:45. Any lasting thoughts you have? Who's gonna make the college football playoff?
Indiana.
Okay, you're probably right there. I think the teams that have it best are the ones that have one loss and that are not in the college football or not in their championship game.
Yeah, those are the weird ones. But now that it's expanded to 12, it's okay now.
They're in, but they don't have to worry about what happens. And I guess the ones that are in the championship game shouldn't have to worry about it either.
In theory, they don't, but
every once in a while they do.
Win that championship.
You get those 9-2 or 9-3 teams that make the championship game, and there's somebody on the outside with 10-1 or whatever.
Yep, and they have to end up trying to beat them out kind of deal at that situation. Yeah.
Right.
Those always get tough.
Yeah.
And you have to, especially, I think it's going to be different now that it's expanded, but prior to this, it happened at least a couple times where the higher ranked team that coming into the championship week loses the championship game and ends up getting bumped out of the college playoffs because of it.
I don't know that there's any games like that that's going to happen. I am hoping the only game that I care about is I think Tulane and North Texas play. I think.
See if Tulane can.
And I want North Texas to win. I hope they make it.
North,
okay. Mean Green, bro.
That would be hilarious. Just something. I would love to see it too, just for the sake of seeing it. But I
hope
just
they pull off a big upset.
I don't think they can. I think it'll be similar to when TCU played Georgia.
I guess the only other thing I have is that Tulane wins, and then they go and get to the national championship game, and John Summerall continues to coach all the way to that.
He sticks, unlike some other coaches that maybe aren't going to be sticking around for
Ole Miss. Just an update on this Ole Miss mess that's going on is the Ole Miss AD did say that that's not exactly how it all played out. So Lane Kiffin could be giving his side of the story a little more glamorous. I have no idea, right?
What we can say for sure, Ole Miss is a hot mess right now.
It is a mess, and I don't blame Lane Kiffin in and of himself.
No.
From the outset, supposedly weeks before, they said if you leave, you're not coaching us in the playoffs.
Yeah,
like
you're putting an unfair, I think, deadline on the guy.
And you can.
Point.
It's totally right. You totally have the ability
have the
to
prerogative
do that.
to do so.
You have
100%.
all that stuff, but I mean, I don't know. That's an interesting move.
Feels like I think Kiffin could have been done dirty, and I think Kiffin could have done dirty to Ole Miss. I
don't disagree with anything there.
It's a hot mess of a situation, and
I think Ole Miss has never won a national championship. No, they may have at one point, but LSU has won several times in the past couple decades.
Yep.
So, what's the better place to coach at? I mean, theoretically, LSU,
who in theory has more money to spend on players now. You're going to get more for coaching staff as well, which he's bringing a lot of his guys with anyways. So that's what it is. But I don't know. It'll be an interesting thing to see next year how
the last time,
does.
according to Google AI overview, the last time the Ole Miss Rebels won a national championship was in 1962 for football.
So it's been a hot minute since before the Super Bowl era. Of the NFL. So
if Ole Miss is a football school, then they're struggling to prove that on the national stage.
Yeah. Eli Manning never got them to the national championship. So
they have won a 2002 College World Series for baseball, though.
Oh wow,
so they're a baseball school.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, college baseball coach, because they're not managers there, is making the direct line up to the Major League Baseball for first time ever. Going to be the
Tennessee.
Tennessee's coach is going to manage the Giants. So that's interesting.
Interesting stuff. All right, we'll catch you guys next time.
Tuesday or Thursday
next week. We'll find out.
You'll see next
time.
week.
Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.